there lived a young Hmong shaman named Moonshine, or Dra, as her ancestors had called her. With long, flowing hair that shimmered like the night sky and eyes that sparkled with the wisdom of ages, she was both beautiful and powerful. Moonshine had been reincarnated through countless lifetimes, each one weaving a tapestry of experiences that shaped her into the healer and guide she was today. Her home was a small, vibrant village where the community revered her as a beacon of hope and healing. Moonshine was known for her extraordinary abilities to connect with the spirit world and her spiritual guidance assistants, ethereal beings who had accompanied her through many lifetimes, were always by her side. They whispered ancient secrets and offered her wisdom, reminding her of her past lives and the unfinished business that awaited her. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle, Moonshine felt a familiar pull in her heart. It was the call of the Red Dragon, a powerful entity she had once battled in a time long forgotten. The dragon had wreaked havoc in the Yellow River Basin, causing landslides and floods that claimed countless innocent lives. In her previous life, she had confronted the beast, engaging in a fierce duel that lasted 7 days and nights, shaking the very earth beneath them. Ultimately, she had triumphed, chaining the dragon in a cave, promising to return after 3,000 years to set it free. That night, as she lay in her bed, Moonshine drifted into a deep sleep. Her spiritual guidance assistants enveloped her in a warm embrace, and she found herself transported back through the corridors of time. The world around her shifted, and she was standing before the entrance of the cave where she had imprisoned the dragon so long ago. The air was thick with anticipation, and the echoes of her past reverberated through her being. Moonshine stepped into the cave, the darkness wrapping around her like a shroud. The memory flooded back. She had locked the furious beast within these stone walls, using her powers to bind it with chains forged from the elements themselves. The dragon's furious roars had echoed in her ears, but she had stood firm, channeling the strength of the earth, the wind, and the fire to subdue it. The bronze Buddha statue, which she had summoned to guard the entrance, stood silently, its presence a reminder of her promise. With a deep breath, Moonshine began to chant the incantation she had woven so many centuries ago. The words flowed from her lips like a river, imbued with the energy of the universe. As she spoke, the Buddha statue began to glow with a radiant light, ascending to the heavens in a burst of brilliance. She felt gratitude swell within her, knowing that the statue had faithfully protected the cave for millennia. As the last syllable of her chant echoed in the cave, the heavy gates creaked open, revealing the red dragon, its scales shimmering like rubies in the dim light. The creature stirred, its eyes blazing with ancient fury and recognition. Moonshine stood before it, her heart steady. "You are free," she declared, her voice strong yet compassionate. "But I warn you, do not interfere with the lives of humans again." The dragon regarded her, its expression shifting from rage to understanding. With a low growl, it bowed its massive head in acknowledgement. In that moment, Moonshine felt the weight of their shared history. The dragon spread its enormous wings, casting shadows over the cave, and with a powerful leap, it soared into the sky, disappearing into the realm of dragons. As the cave fell silent, Moonshine sensed that her journey was far from over. The spiritual guidance assistants surrounded her, their presence a reminder that she still had work to do in the realm of the living. In an instant, she was back in her bed, the morning sun streaming through her window, illuminating her room with a golden light. Moonshine awoke with a sense of purpose, her heart filled with the knowledge of her past and the responsibilities of her present. She rose from her bed, ready to embrace the day. The community awaited her healing touch, and she knew that her journey into the spiritual realm had equipped her with the wisdom to guide others. Throughout the day, she shared her stories with the villagers, recounting her encounters with the dragon and the lessons she had learned. She spoke of balance, respect for nature, and the importance of understanding the forces that shape their lives. The villagers listened, captivated by her words, and they felt a renewed sense of hope and connection to the world around them. As the sun set once more over the central valley, casting a warm glow over the fields, Moonshine felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had faced her past, released the dragon, and embraced her role as a healer and guide. The villagers gathered around her, their faces illuminated by the flickering light of lanterns, eager to hear more of her wisdom and the stories that flowed from her heart. "Each of us carries a piece of the past within us," Moonshine began, her voice gentle yet resonant. "Like the dragon, we all have our battles, our fears, and our burdens, but it is through understanding and compassion that we can transform our pain into strength." The villagers nodded, their eyes reflecting the flickering flames of the lanterns, as if they were absorbing her words into their very souls. Moonshine shared tales of her previous lives, of the lessons learned and the spirits encountered. She spoke of the importance of honoring one's ancestors and the interconnectedness of all beings, weaving a tapestry of wisdom that bound them together. As the night deepened, Moonshine felt the presence of her spiritual guidance assistants, their ethereal forms shimmering in the shadows. They whispered to her, reminding her of the unfinished business that still lingered in the air. She knew that her encounter with the dragon was just one chapter in a much larger story, and the community needed her now more than ever. "Tonight, we shall honor the spirits of our ancestors," she declared, her voice rising with conviction. "We will light candles and offer our gratitude for the guidance they have bestowed upon us. Let us remember that we are never alone, for they walk beside us, guiding our steps." The villagers sprang into action, gathering candles and flowers from their homes. They formed a circle around Moonshine, who stood at the center, her heart swelling with pride and love for her community. As they lit the candles, the warm glow enveloped them, casting a protective light against the encroaching darkness. Moonshine began to chant, her voice rising and falling like the gentle waves of the ocean. The air filled with the sweet scent of incense, and the villagers joined in, their voices harmonizing with hers. Together they called upon the spirits of their ancestors, inviting their wisdom and protection into their midst. As the chant echoed through the valley, Moonshine felt a surge of energy coursing through her. The spiritual guidance assistants danced around her, their presence amplifying the connection between the living and the spirit world. She envisioned the dragon soaring high above, a guardian watching over them, and she knew that her actions had rippled through time, creating a bridge between past and present. In that sacred moment, the villagers felt a profound sense of unity and purpose. They understood that they were part of something greater, a lineage of strength and resilience that spanned generations. Moonshine's stories had ignited a fire within them, a desire to honor their heritage and embrace their roles as stewards of the land and each other. As the night wore on, they shared their own stories of struggle and triumph, weaving their experiences into the collective narrative of their community. Laughter and tears mingled in the air, and the bonds between them grew stronger, forged in the crucible of shared experience and understanding. When the last candle flickered out, Moonshine felt a deep sense of peace wash over her. She knew that the work she had done that night would resonate for years to come, inspiring future generations to honor their roots and embrace their destinies. As the villagers began to disperse, Moonshine stood at the edge of the gathering, watching them with a heart full of gratitude. She understood that her journey was not just about her own past, but about nurturing the present and future of her community. The dragon was free, and with it came a new chapter, one filled with hope, healing, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. With the dawn of a new day approaching, Moonshine turned her gaze to the horizon where the first light of morning began to break. She felt the warmth of the sun on her skin, a reminder that each day was a new opportunity to heal, to grow, and to connect. With renewed determination, she stepped forward, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that she was never alone in her journey.